Oh, hello everyone and welcome to this morning meditation. And something unique, I think wonderful, very important can happen in meditation. And that is with your eyes closed perhaps, sitting centered on yourself here, that you yourself as a meditator, as an existing person, a living, breathing person, becomes for these few minutes the most important person in the world. Not as a form of conceit, the opposite of conceit. Conceit diminishes us, but rather that there's a way in which the whole world, our world that we live in, begins with ourselves. If the heart, or deep inside, there's a light of love or compassion, and if that light gets turned on, if you could slow down the speed of light, you'll see that it goes outwards first and touches the edges of the heart, moves on into the torso, spreads through the body. The first thing that the light encounters, is all the stuff that's your psychophysical being. And you're as important as any other being. All beings are valuable. And you are valuable. And your awareness radiates your love, and it runs into yourself first. And if you limit that love, if you diminish it right there as it passes through you, less is available for the world. The state of your mind, how you are, has a lot to do with how you see the world and how you relate to the world, and even how you might help create a better world. See with hostility, see with ill will, see with desires, greedy desires, and you'll see a world that is colored by those things. See a world without greedy desires, without ill will, without any hostility. And our world will not only look different, but we contribute to a better world, a fuller world. Meditation is not a simple step towards stress reduction. It's not so we just can feel a little calmer. I'd like to suggest for this meditation that it is a radical, revolutionary stance, position. Revolutionary that ways it undermines or offers a radical alternative to business as usual in this world. So meditation is a response to the world. It's a mature, dedicated, clear, invaluable time to be the alternative to greed, hate, and delusion. You are important. So to sit and meditate this time, not to be stressed, not to strain, but to be inspired, delighted, that it's invaluable to sit here practicing. Letting go of any hostility that might arise in the mind, including to yourself. Letting go of any ill will, including to yourself. Letting go of any greed any lust, any strong desire, and to do so as a way of being here in a full revolutionary way. If you want to see the world change, change the person who's closest to you. Care for it, be careful. Meet the person that's closest to you, yourself, with goodwill, genuine goodwill, goodwill that arises from the depths of your being. Meet this person closest to you, yourself, with compassion and love that also arises from the depths of your being. This is invaluable. This time now, these next minutes are precious. Assuming a meditation posture, assuming a posture that respects the magnitude of the work that we're doing in meditation, that respects it, that cares for you, gently closing the eyes. And to settle into this moment, to settle in here with this person, yourself, taking a few long, slow, deep breaths. And relaxing as you exhale. Letting your breathing return to normal. And on the exhales, soften, relax in your body. A relaxing, softening that connects you more to now and here. Relaxing the thinking mind, softening the deep emotional tensions, tightness, pressure. And then from the depths of your being, can you awaken goodwill, kindness, compassion, love, that at a minimum takes the form of wanting to have kindness and love, wishing it was here. That itself is an expression of love. And from the depth of your being, with a reference point of goodwill, compassion, sit and meditate, letting go of any ill will, any hostility, any strong desire that interferes with the light of goodwill, the light of love, care, kindness, riding on each inhale and each exhale. Where the meeting of inhale and awareness is a meeting of care, love, where the meeting point of awareness with the exhale is a meeting of love and care, kindness, as if this is the most important thing to do right now, to be present without any ill will, without being caught in desire, just here. the chances are that if you're thinking a lot in meditation, your thoughts have nothing to do with how valuable it is to care for yourself right now, as you are in the present, that this time now is the only time to be present for yourself with kind awareness, to fill yourself with being aware, free of desire and ill will. And whatever is difficult, whatever areas there's not goodwill, not compassion, It's okay. Meet that with goodwill, with love, care. Find the deepest place within, from which you can meet all things with kindness, love, care. And as we come to the end of this sitting, if you can, imagine that there's a small light deep at the center of your being, a small light of love or compassion, care, goodwill, and that gently that light brightens outwards to fill yourself with every breath in. The light spreads through your body, and when it's full within, then on every exhale, the light spreads out into the world. Filling yourself with kindness and goodwill on the in-breath, spreading that goodwill into the world on the exhale. Letting your light of kindness spread out into the world to gently touch or shine on the goodness and preciousness of every being that comes into your view. That you're oriented, disposed to view all beings with goodwill, because that's what flows from the depth of your being. May all beings be happy. May all beings be safe. May all beings be peaceful. And may all beings be free of suffering, of oppression, poverty. May all beings be free of those who see them with hostility. May all beings be seen with care. Thank you. So, hello and welcome to this third talk on the Eightfold Path. And I just finished this guided meditation that I hoped offered you a sense of wonderful, delightful seriousness, but how serious it is to meditate. But not taking it so serious that it's dour or heavy, but serious so we're inspired to really show up and be present for ourselves in meditation, so that we have what it takes to be present in this world with an orientation of care and kindness and goodwill. So this second factor of the Eightfold Path is usually called intention, resolve. Occasionally I've seen thought, so usually they use the word right intention, right resolve, right thought. And I'm choosing to translate the word samma not as right, but as holistic, because it's what encompasses the whole of who we are. It's an attitude or it's an approach or an activity that we do that includes everything, the whole life, our whole lived life. So today I'm going to translate the second factor of the Eightfold Path. The Pali word is sankappa, S-A-N-K-A-P-P-A, as orientation. So the holistic orientation. And I've spent a fair amount of time trying to understand what this sankappa might mean. And the way it appears in the suttas, it's the precursor, it's the condition that engages or orients or directs our thinking. So first we're kind of like if I hear a sound, and again I turn and orient my attention to the sound. Then I have thoughts. Oh, that's a car horn. That's a train. If I go through the world wanting to buy something. Many years ago, I wanted a futon couch, and I wasn't, actively, consciously looking, but something inside of me was oriented to driving down the streets of the city for noticing futon couch stores. And so there's a kind of an attitude, it's a disposition that is kind of like, but more like an orientation. So there's three orientations for the holistic orientation. The orientation to not to not be caught in sensual desire. So freedom, orientation towards freedom from sensual desire. An orientation to kindness, goodwill, and orientation towards compassion. So it's possible to have hostility towards someone, really feel angry and upset. But while we have those, our orientation is to try to see how we can talk to them, be with them, without that hostility dominating our speech and our actions. We're not oriented, we're not being animated by the hostility. We're being oriented or animated by a whole other area that we're committed to, that feels valuable, that seems much more important. We're not oriented around ill will for people. We're oriented towards goodwill. And it's kind of like orienteering in the wilderness, where we might have a compass that orients us to going the direction we want to go. And so we have that as the bearing. We're oriented in the right way. But now the terrain requires us to go in all kinds of directions, sometimes even backwards. And round and up and down and sideways because of the obstacles in the terrain. But we are oriented towards the direction by the compass. So we know where we're going. And we make choices with that in mind. And so after the first fold of the Eightfold Path, the first limb, is a holistic view. The view that was able to take it all in, including how we suffer and where there's freedom of suffering, where there's clinging and there's freedom of clinging at the same time. It's kind of standing fully, completely in ourselves. So we see it all. We have a holistic point of view. Not easy, but this is what we're going to. This is what the practice is bringing us to. And once we have this holistic view, where we see that suffering, clinging, is not the whole story, where we're no longer inclined to invest in our suffering, to identify with our suffering exclusively. We're not going to invest anymore in clinging, or identify clinging, or justify clinging, because we clearly see there's an alternative. It's already right here. It's part of us. The stronger the mindfulness, stronger the way we're really present, the more we'll see that we're not defined by these negative mind states that we can have. As we see that, we see there's another possibility. And that can give birth to having a holistic orientation, to be guided by, be disposed towards, to be motivated by, to have intentions, have thoughts, have considerations in a certain direction. So the North Star is compassion, goodwill, metta. The orientation is freedom from sensual desires. Not necessarily avoiding sensual pleasures, but not being caught in them, not being imprisoned by them, not being limited by them, to find freedom. So where do we? So as we begin as the holistic view becomes stronger, the corollary, or what follows, is this holistic orientation that knows clearly what's better for us, knows clearly what is the best that we can have, to knows clearly where the deepest sources of life, deepest sources of what animates us can come from. And even though it might not always be there, we know well enough that we have it as our North Star, we have it as our compass point. Kindness, goodwill, well-wishing, metta, care, compassion, karuna. These are not meant to be overlays onto our experience, like pretending or acting as if we have compassion and goodwill. But they're supposed to be the opposite. They come from the well springs from us inside. That's possible when we have the holistic view. Then there's a sense of the whole being complete, we start gathering all the pieces of ourselves together so that the best in us has a chance to inform us, to guide us, to show us the way. And for the Buddha, finding the way to freedom, to a fulfilled life, to a holistic life that we feel fulfilled, deeply satisfied, involves freedom from sensual desires. So they oriented around that. Involves freedom from ill will, being oriented to well-wishing, to metta, and being oriented away from cruelty, and instead be oriented towards non-cruelty, which is the tradition calls as compassion, karuna, and I call anukampa, care. So the idea is these aren't beliefs that we take on, though they could be, because these beliefs are maybe better than the alternatives. But rather, we have done the inner work to identify these qualities of compassion, goodwill, freedom from sensual desires as being really healthy. It's the way of the healthy sense of the whole, the healthy sense of integration, of inclusion, nothing left out. It's an alternative to clinging. As soon as we cling, we have things that are left out. As soon as we cling, we are separated from the whole. We now are narrowly focused, tight, limited. And this practice of mindfulness is to be filled and open up to the whole picture. The good, the bad, and the ugly, everything can be included. And something very special happens then. Then we have a chance to recognize the deep well springs inside of our interpersonal relationships, the well springs of caring for our interpersonal lives, caring for the world around us, caring it with goodwill, caring with it with compassion, caring for it without being caught in sensual desires. So the first limb of the Eightfold Path, right view, is primarily understood to be deeply personal. The second step of the Eightfold Path now begins to spread the lessons of the right view into our interpersonal life, out into the world. And so this is foundational to the whole Dharma, is not just keep it personal, but also to let it radiate from us or be inclusive of us as interpersonal beings in our interpersonal relationships, so that we are oriented towards compassion, oriented towards loving kindness, oriented towards freedom. And these orientations, these ways of setting the compass, these ways of having a North Star, sets the stage for the rest of the Eightfold Path. So, holistic orientation, the second fold of the Eightfold Path. And the image I have of because we use the word in Pali is limb, anga for the Eightfold Path, but we say in English eightfold. And what I think of is that as we go through the Eightfold Path, we're unfolding the paper. It's folded 8 ways, and now we're opening it up and opening it up. And if you ever try to fold paper into 8, keep doing it in half. No matter how big it is, it gets really tight and small to fold it 8 times in half. And this wonderful thing happens as we unfold it. So, thank you very much, and look forward to being here tomorrow.